When an arc welding machine is going to be used, it's important to inspect its components. Arc welding equipment should be of good quality, in good working condition, installed properly, and grounded. Inspect all cables and connections carefully. Cables with frayed or loose connections or with worn insulation must be repaired or replaced before work begins. Faults in the cables and connections can result in a serious shock when the welding machine is started up. Also, inspect the electrode holder carefully. Be certain that the insulation is not nicked, cracked, or otherwise damaged so that the metal shows through. Check that the electrode is securely attached to the electrode holder. In addition, be sure that the proper shield gas is being used if one is necessary. The best way to identify a shield gas is to check the label on the gas cylinder or the piping, depending on how the gas is being supplied. Finally, be sure to check the welding machine carefully. Make certain that the machine's controls are not damaged and that they all operate properly. If the machine uses an engine for power, be sure to check the engine's oil level and fuel level before starting it. Another important part of preparing for a welding job is to gather and inspect all of the safety equipment that is required for the job. This includes not only personal protective equipment, such as a welding helmet and leather gear, but also equipment that is needed to make the work area safe, such as welding screens and a fire extinguisher. For more detailed information about the safety gear that is commonly used during welding and the hazards that they're designed to provide protection from, be sure that you view the sections of this unit that cover hazards and protection. After all of the safety equipment that is required for the welding job has been gathered and inspected, the equipment that is used to make the work location safe should be set up. This may involve setting up barriers to protect other personnel from hazards associated with welding. After a work area has been made safe, the welding machine should be set up. The welding machine should be properly connected to its power source and properly grounded. In some situations, this work may involve an electrician. Setting up a welding machine typically involves connecting the work and electrode cables to the welding machine, setting the machine's controls to the proper settings for the job, and attaching the work cable to the work or the surface it's on. Depending on the welding method being used and the type of welding machine, the electrode may be installed in the electrode holder at this time. The last basic step in preparing for a welding job is to put on the required personal safety gear. To be properly protected from the hazards associated with arc welding, the welder should wear all of the required personal safety gear, and all of the safety gear should be worn correctly. If you need assistance putting the gear on, find someone to give you help. Taking the appropriate safety precautions is the most important part of any welding job. As you gain experience, properly preparing for a welding job will become second nature to you. Now would be a good time to try a question on preparing for a welding job. In this topic, we examined the equipment that is used to perform arc welding, and we looked at some basic preparations for a welding job. Now would be a good time to try some practice questions on this material. In this part, we're going to go over shielded metal arc welding. This method is often referred to as stick welding because the electrode that is used looks like a stick. Stick welding was developed in the late 1800s. Originally, large rechargeable batteries supplied the current that was needed to create and maintain the arc. For the most part, stick welding is performed using equipment that is similar to the equipment that's used for other welding methods. For example, stick welding uses a welding machine that supplies a constant current output, either alternating current or direct current. Most stick welding is performed by using direct current and making the electrode positive. This is commonly known as direct current reverse polarity. Like other welding methods, stick welding uses two cables to carry welding current. One of the cables, the electrode cable, has the electrode holder. The electrode holder that's used for stick welding is commonly called a stinger. A stinger usually has several grooves in its jaws to hold an electrode at different angles. Different electrode holders have different current ratings. The electrodes that are used for stick welding are sometimes called rods. However, this is not really an accurate usage of that term, since the term rod is more correctly used to refer to an uncoated filler metal that is used in other types of arc welding.